So you guys really liked my last video on how to crochet absolutely anything. And so for this video, I thought I would narrow myself down and give you my top tricks and strategies for designing and crocheting unique, fun, and interesting plushies. And I'll be showing you those tricks through all of the Amazing Digital Circus designs that I have created. So if you want to get better at designing your own plushies, and particularly if you want to sell those patterns of those plushies and actually get money for them, this is the best way I've found that you can make your patterns and designs stand out amongst the sea of other designs. So, top trick number 1 is create a no-sew design. So the first ever design I made for the Amazing Digital Circus was this Pomni plushie. And if you look at it, yeah, it looks okay, it looks like Pomni, it looks like the character, that's all well and good. But the main plus side of this design is that it is 100% no-sew. And by that I mean, the whole plushie is crocheted together, you don't have to sew any parts on afterwards. Now, this is a really good tip for trying to make a pattern stand out from other patterns because people like no-sew. Having to sew bits on at the end isn't fun for people. People like the crochet part. People don't like sewing. If they wanted to do sewing, they would do sewing. That's not to say patterns with sewing can't do very well. Obviously they can. But a pattern being no-sew is a very big draw to people wanting to buy that specific pattern. And I should probably mention now that I do have credentials in this. I have been running an Etsy business for about 3 years now, and I have a lot of sales, and I have made money from selling my patterns, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, when you're making a no-sew pattern, obviously advertise it as no-sew and that's what's going to get you sales. But for tips and tricks involving actually making it no-sew, basically anything that you might try and add on afterwards, like limbs or designs, just try and make it part of the actual pattern. You can crochet different elements of a design together by just sticking your hook through the leg first, for example, then into the body, doing a single crochet as normal, and you've crocheted it together. You now don't have to sew that bit on. It's very simple. There's lots of tutorials you can look up online, and if you're interested, I might make a tutorial as well, because I try and make my designs as little sew as possible because I don't like sewing. So if you'd be interested in a video like that, let me know down below. So if you have the skills and the knowledge and the practice to make a design no-sew, definitely go ahead. If you're struggling with making sales, make some no-sew designs, advertise them as no-sew, and they should do fairly well. For example, I've been doing YouTube for a while. If you go back on my channel, still my most popular video by far is this no-sew dinosaur I posted. It's crazy. After Pomni, the second The Amazing Digital Circus design I created was this little Goomy Goo keychain. And again, you could argue that this one is also no-sew, because it is, except for the hat. And with all the colour changes, it's all one thing, you don't have to add anything on afterwards. But for this one, the main tip I would say for getting sales with the pattern is the fact that you can make it into a teeny tiny little keyring. And I did this by doing micro crochet. So I used a 0.85mm hook and embroidery thread to crochet the exact same plushie, but teeny tiny. Now, you don't have to do this. This trick is kind of a weird one, but it's basically, people think small things are cute. So if you have the skills to be able to micro crochet, try micro crocheting one of your designs and posting a video of it online, and people would think it's cute because it's tiny. Humans are hardwired to think that tiny things are really cute. So this is less of a pattern trick and more of an advertising trick, but I found that it can really help. The next tip is to don't shy away from not just doing a plushie of the character. Obviously, this is what you're here for, this is what you enjoy doing, making plushies. That's fair enough, I love making plushies too. But what I'm saying is, don't shy away from just doing a generic copy, this is the character, I'm turning them into a plushie. You can get creative with it, you don't have to do a carbon copy of the character. Like the 2 examples I've done before, I literally just crocheted the character, and that's fine. But for this example, I crocheted this hair ribbon inspired by Gangle. It's literally just a ribbon with 2 accessories on it, which are her emotion masks that you can swap out or have both of them on the ribbon. And I think this is a really good example because it shows that you can get creative with it and you don't have to just do a carbon copy of the character, because let's face it, that's what everyone is doing. My Pomni pattern isn't too popular on my Etsy because there are 50 other crochet Pomni plushies out there, and people just choose the one they think looks the best, which is fine. But if you do something unique involving the character that isn't just them as a plushie, that can really help you stand out. Now, my gangle ribbon isn't actually a pattern that I sell, I just have a tutorial up for it on my YouTube on how to make it. But I do think trying to come up with a unique idea and not just always doing a plushie of the character is a really good idea for standing out and getting your patterns seen by more people. And you can advertise it really well, especially if it's something like the hair ribbon and it's practical. People can use it, they like things that they can use. And that is a really good segue into the next tip, which is basically what I just said, and that is practical, useful crochet patterns. So I originally made my first lip balm holder based on the Cusco's Poison from the Emperor's New Groove. You know, the poison for Cusco, the poison chosen especially to kill Cusco, Cusco's poison. That poison. And I thought it was a fun shape for a potion bottle, and that I could turn it into a lip balm holder. It can store your lip balm as a little bag charm. And I was thinking of other things that would be a similar shape that I could do for other lip balm holders, and I thought I can do Kinger. So I drew him out and I designed him as another lip balm holder. And he is essentially just him as a plushie, but he's hollow on the inside and his head is removable so you can store lip balm in it. So it's very easy to design because you're just designing a plushie, you just need to make sure there's an opening so that you can, actually store things in it. But people loved this design. This is one of the most popular designs on my Etsy because it's practical. Anyone can crochet a plushie that looks like Kinger. That's fairly easy to do. He's quite a simple shape. And anyone can make him as a keyring to put on your bag just so you can show that you like the character. But having him as a product that you can use, you have him on your bag, you can show him off, that's great. But you can also store your lip balm inside of him, is just very unique. And I'm not saying I invented that. Obviously, I didn't invent crochet lip balm holders at all. What I'm saying is, if you could turn your plushies into something practical and useful, that can definitely help them stand out a lot. And also make them look good as well, because look how good this Kinger looks. And while I was crocheting him, I also designed a second version, which is instead of his normal head, you can swap it out for the bucket. So it looks like he has a bucket on his head, which I think is very fun. For tip number 5, I think we're on tip number 5, I'm going to be using the example of my Jax plushie that I crocheted. Now this is also just kind of a normal keyring, it's just a carbon copy of the character crocheted as a plushie and made into a keyring, but it also has a little extra thing to it, and that is it's interactable. It's basically, I call it a stress toy because it's funny, and if you've watched episode 8 you know what I'm talking about, but basically you can peel his head skin off. Which, if you haven't watched the show, is probably very confusing, but it makes sense, I promise. And this is fairly similar to the whole make it practical thing, but also make it interactable. So for mine, obviously, you can peel the head back off, put it back on. It's kind of like a fidget toy. And you can do this in many different ways. If your character has spindly arms or antenna, you can put some wire or some pipe cleaners in it, and so you compose them and it just adds a little element of interactability instead of just a normal plain plushie. For example, my Miles Morales cat and Spider-Punk designs have wire bodies inside them, so you compose them. And for the Jax, it's kind of like a little outfit. Think of it like an outfit. So if you're crocheting a plushie, you could crochet multiple little hats and then you can take them on and off, for example. And again, this is just another way to step out of that it's just a plushie thing and make it more interactive and more fun. And that will in turn make it stand out more and make it more popular when people are on Etsy or whatever and searching up the crochet pattern that they want to make. But when you're doing this, I would also make it work in the universe of the character. So mine works because this happens in episode 8. It literally happens in the show that I'm making the character for. So if you're trying to make your design interactable, try and make it fit with the character. If you're doing fan art, if you're not doing fan art, obviously you can do whatever you want. But if you're doing a character from something, try and make it fit within the character, and people like that. Rather than just, it's a character, but it has a hat and now it's interactable. It doesn't make sense if they never wear a hat in the show, you know? This next one is pretty vague, and I can kind of go about it in two different ways. So I'll tell you the example first, and the example for this one is my cane design that I made. The way that I made this is I had loads of these little empty jars that had fake blood in them, because I went into a school and I was teaching them how to do special effects makeup, and we ended up with loads of these empty fake blood jars. And I thought, hey, I could crochet around these, make it into a little trinket box, and crochet around it and make it all cute. And then I had the idea I could do that with Kane, because he stores things in his mouth in the show, so it would work. Which again, ties into kind of the last tip I said. And this one is kind of twofold, and by that I mean you can add things that aren't crochet to your crochet plushie. Like I was saying before with the pipe cleaner or the wire to make it interactable, this cane design obviously has a little tub inside of him. And this can make people interested in the design because it has another element that isn't just crochet. But you do have to be careful, because if you're selling the pattern of it, people then need to buy whatever that little extra thing is, so that one can also be a negative. Which is why I would say combine it with upcycling. I'm going to go back to the Kinger as another example, but the way I made the Kinger lip balm holder stable and not just crochet is I have bottle caps in the base and in the head to help hold the shape and hold the lip balm in place. People love being green, people love being sustainable, it's a popular thing, and everyone should always be and try and be as sustainable as they can, obviously. So it's another good thing to advertise about your pattern. And for example, if you're going to do the bottle cap idea, basically everyone has bottle caps, and if you don't, you can just find them on the pavement. Obviously make sure you wash them, but you can pretty much find bottle caps anywhere. Anyone can get access to a couple of bottle caps. So if you're doing something where it's upcycling, make sure to do it with something that everyone has. The cane one might not be a great example because obviously it's a very specific size of a tub that not everyone might have, but if it's something generic like a bottle cap, those are pretty much all the exact same size, so that's pretty easy to do. So yeah, this tip is basically don't be afraid to combine other objects that aren't crocheted in your plushie, and if you do, if you try and make them upcycled or an object that everyone has in their homes, that can just add another little element that will make your design stand out from other people's designs, and also can help and encourage everyone to be more green, which we all really need in life, so. And for the final tip and trick of the video, it is to don't be afraid of straying away from plushies in general and doing something like accessories. Obviously, they're crocheted in the exact same way, it's all amigurumi, but like the gangle ribbon, I made these Zubel antenna that go on your headphones, and people like accessories. They like things they can wear, they like things they can show off. Like keyrings, for example, people like crocheting keyrings. If you're doing an actual plushie, that's great, it can sit in someone's home, but people like things they can show off. Which is why accessories like the antenna or the hair ribbon work pretty well and can help people be interested in your design, because it's unique. Like I was saying, anyone can do a plushie, but accessories like this are just more fun and more unique, and there aren't as many of them on the market, it's not as saturated. Especially if it fits in with the character, obviously. So Zubel has antenna, so it makes sense to have the antenna on your headphones or on a headband, like a little cosplay. For example, I've also done the horns from Helluva Boss, and I've done Umbreon ears, and people seem to really like them. They like things they can wear. So this isn't strictly a plushie like the hair ribbon again, but it is, you use the same techniques, you know how to crochet. You can crochet amigurumi, it's basically the same thing. But if you're trying to get more sales, possibly straying away from the oversaturated plushie market might be a good idea to help you. So I hope you guys found these tips and tricks helpful when designing your own plushies in the future. If you're interested in any of the designs I showed in the video, the Zubel and the Gangle ones, I have free tutorials up on this very YouTube channel, so I'll put the links down in the description. And every other pattern is all available on my Etsy, which I will also put a link to in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below if any of these were helpful, or if they weren't helpful, and I can try and improve them, I guess. And please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I am trying to take YouTube more seriously at the moment and upload a lot more often, and I appreciate all the support you guys give me because it is hard to get noticed in the algorithm. It's hard out here, guys. I need help. So stay tuned if you like crochet content, art content, making content, just people being generally crafty. Then you might want to subscribe and stick around. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!